This week's correspondent is middle distance runner Jonathon Kaufmann, who will take us inside the Cardinal Corner.
All right, Cardinal fans, this is Jonathon Kaufmann here with your track and field update. I'm right here with my good pal Nathan Worsler, who once pushed the ground down trying to do a push-up. Who, in your mind, is the most handsome lad on the team, and why?
That would be me.
And why?
No comment.
Nathan, out of all the great North Central alums to come through the program, who is your favorite?
That would be me.
But you're not an alum.
Soon to be.
Soon to be. That's good. Hello, I'm here now with freshman Joe McAvoy, freshman sensation. How does it feel being from Michigan, even though everyone in Illinois looks kind of down on Michigan?
Well, kind of an outsider. I get made fun of a lot, but it's all good because Michigan's the greatest state ever.
Why does Michigan contributed to the country in your mind?
Well,
certainly not the Detroit Lions.
Not the Detroit Lions, but we're Michigan.
They're Michigan. Out of all of our many qualifiers on the track team, who's your favorite and why?
Honestly, I can't say I have a favorite. I really look up to all the guys that are the top guys on our team right now.
I personally like Jake Austin because I call him Jake Awesome, but that's just me. Any freshman hazing on the team, either between distance or sprinters or jumpers or anything you notice?
Well, we call the mid-distance guys half-distance because we don't really think they go the whole stuff or whole workouts.
I'll just slug you right now. I'm a mid-distance guy. Sorry, sorry I have speed. I'm right here with one of our greatest athletes on the team, Joe Schneiderbauer, in the pentathlon, qualified for nationals. Now, Schneiderbauer, more importantly, who do you think's the most handsome man on the team? And don't say yourself.
Ooh.
Even though it could be.
I'm going to have to go with Bobby. He's pretty buff. Big guy.
Yeah, you really can throw that weight around.
He's got some muscles.
That's good quality in a man. Now, do you have any certain rituals or any superstitions before you go into any competition?
I like to eat a lot of food.
Any kind of food in particular?
Things with a lot of sugar, cheesecake, brownies, cookies.
You heard it, kids, junk food before a race. Now, Joe, in the pentathlon, there's many different events. Which one is your favorite?
They don't have it. It's actually the pie eating contest. They had a hard time scoring that event, so they took it out.
What's your favorite kind of pie?
I would have to say, ooh, that's tough. Apple or probably pumpkin.
My two favorites, too. High five.
Thanks, John. Well, Clark, women's basketball, Christine Carl named third team All-CCIW selection.
Yeah, it's a good thing for the program. Christine was a big part of what the team was doing this year, and they had a rough year. They didn't quite as many games as they want to, but it's nice to see her get that honor.
Absolutely. Christine, a point guard, she's got some height to her, too. She can either take it to the hole or drain it from outside.
Yeah, she's a bit of a matchup problem for most of the teams in the CCIW. Like to see her develop a little more in terms of outside shooting for next year, but she can certainly be a very effective weapon as they continue to build around her.
Well, Clark, 4 wrestlers, they're heading to the Nationals in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Gabe Ewell, 184-pounder. He goes in as the number 4 seed.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open at 184. Just about anybody could come away with it. Gabe is certainly in that group of individuals who could win a national championship. He's wrestled several of those guys, some of them multiple times. So certainly he knows what he's up against.
And in a previous or a recent article that you put out on the wrestlers going down to the Nationals, said Gabe hoping his experience at that national meet on that level will help him this time around.
Well, nobody's been there more than he has, so he's seen just about everything that particular event can throw at him. So there's not going to be any surprises this time around.
Well, we got a first-timer, but it's another senior, Quan Brown, 174-pounder. He had a 28-7 overall record this year.
Yeah, Quan moved up 2 weight classes this year. Certainly benefited from not having to cut weight. He's got a lot more energy. He's able to do a lot more on the mat. Had to come back after an early quarterfinal loss in the regional to get his spot in the championship. The coaches voted him in as one of the wild cards, so he's going to try to take advantage of it.
Yeah, in your article, Quan referring to the fact that being at a heavier weight, he has more energy going into his matches.
Yeah, I mean, he was having to cut a significant amount of weight just to be able to wrestle at 157 last year, and it really affected him in terms of what he was able to do once he actually got onto the mat in the matches. So certainly speaks to, you know, wrestling at your ideal weight and not necessarily trying to wrestle at a lower weight just
Sure.
to wrestle against smaller guys.
Johnny Starzyk, 141 pound. He came in as the 4 seed.
Yeah, Johnny has come back off of an injury that kept him out for about 6 weeks. So he's had a couple of weeks to get some extra conditioning back in after he was out. And it's a 2-day event, so he doesn't have to wrestle as much on one day, so hopefully that'll help him out.
Now, Nathan Fitzenreiter, 133-pounder, he's been #1 nationally ranked pretty much all year. Now he's a 2nd seed at the national tournament.
Yeah, Nate had only had 1 loss to a Division III opponent this year, and that was back in November. So with the wrestling schedule that they have, it's quite an accomplishment to go undefeated against Division III competition for about 3 months. So he's certainly a favorite going into that when he hasn't wrestled the top seed, but he has wrestled several of the other top guys and beaten them in that bracket.
Well, the tennis team, they started their season off. They're 1-1 after 2 dual meets.
Yeah, it's a couple of good matches for them to start off with. They don't have quite the depth that they had last year from top to bottom, particularly with Gabe still involved in wrestling season. So they're just going to try and get through the early matches and prepare for conference play later on in the spring.
Matt Boguslawski and Sam Sweeney, they won both their doubles matches, but Sam in his individual match got hurt in the 2nd time around.
Yeah, we don't know quite how serious that is. Hopefully it's just something he can recover quickly from. Sam's typically a pretty tough guy, and he's willing to play through some things. So, well, hopefully he'll be back in the lineup pretty soon.
Well, the Cardinal softball team, they're picked 2nd in the CCIW, right behind Illinois Wesleyan. Illinois Wesleyan, the Titans, they received 46 first-place votes. The Cardinals got 44.
That's pretty reflective of how last season turned out. They finished in that order, and the conference tournament came down to those 2 in the finals, and it was a close matchup there, and Illinois Wesleyan came out on top. So they deserved to be in first place, but typically those polls bear out the results from the previous year, and that's what happened here.
2 regional selections, all regional selections returned, Kara Reed and Holly Roadruck. Is there somebody to kind of help Holly with the pitching this year?
They're going to kind of do that by committee. They've got some transfers that have come in that they think are going to be able to help right away. Most of the infield is back, so that's going to take some pressure off of the pitching as well. As long as they're able to be solid defensively, it's going to help out quite a bit.
Just real quick, the baseball team, they're picked 5th in the CCIW. They finished in 6th place last year.
And they kind of flip-flopped with North Park there, and there was only a half a game between them last season, so that's not much of a surprise. They've got their first games coming up this weekend at Franklin, and so we'll have a chance to see what they've got there. A lot of guys coming back. The new Res Rec Center, they've had a chance to work on a few more things with a larger space indoors, and they've actually been able to go outdoors a little bit this week.
Oh, that's nice. Well, Clark, we look forward to this weekend to see if Gabe Buell can get that first national championship. He'd be the first wrestler in 40 years to accomplish the feat.
Since Ed Jackson in 1969, so that would be quite an accomplishment for the program.
It'll be fun to look out for. Thanks, Clark.
Thank you.
Tune in next week as we sit down with the wrestling team and recap their performance at the national meet. NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. I'm Jeff Mahoney. See you next time on your community television leader, Channel 17. Go Cardinals.